A nice deep breath.
Yeah.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
How beneficial.
Oh my God, right?
Welcome to episode 4 of the I Am Your Friend podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Licker, and today our guest is our friend, Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Aiden.
How are you?
Oh, I'm just peachy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I drank a lot last night.
Same.
Yeah, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. You went to the Pink.
Oh, yes. It was an experience.
Have you ever been there before?
Yes. One time. I can't remember when.
Oh,
Obviously, I can't
think we were
remember.
there together one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And then we went to 40 Thieves.
Yep, I do remember that.
It was a good
night.
time.
Yeah. That was a wild night.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't been to the Pink since pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Heard they switched the floors.
They did.
Yeah, is it weird?
It was super weird. It was weird being there and having to sit at the bar and no one was walking around. Like,
right.
The floors were empty. Like,
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, sitting down is not something I do there.
No.
Usually.
That was bizarre.
Yeah, interesting. Well, how did you feel this morning?
Oh,
after?
not
Yeah,
that
same.
great.
I did not feel like Pablo. Yeah, I was been scatterbrained all day, and then we moved a futon
We sure did.
out of your apartment, which was fun.
It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's a day full of Aiden. And I watched your podcast this morning.
Yeah, that was weird.
When you
Yes,
walked
I
in.
walked
Yes,
into your
I was like,
apartment and I was on your television.
Yeah, and I was like out of it completely. So
Yeah.
it was a bizarre experience.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you checked it out.
I did. It was great.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the things that you do in life. And yeah.
Okay. Well, I originally got a degree in philosophy, so I do lots of philosophy stuff.
Oh, cool. I actually didn't know that about you.
Yeah, at Fredonia. That was my major at Fredonia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever have Jacuzo?
Yes, the guy with the curly hair?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was my intro to philosophy professor at Fredonia. Taught me a lot, actually. I learned a lot in that class.
Yeah, I took his intro class and I took an ethics class with him.
Yeah.
He was
That might have been what it was.
different.
Maybe it was intro to ethics. Yeah, he was an interesting guy.
He was different. I
For
liked
sure.
him. And then I got a bachelor's in psych at UB, and now I'm in a master's program for school psychology.
Nice. So is that what you're doing, like, for your job now? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is, so do you work with, like, young kids?
Any school-age children.
Yeah.
In the fall, I'll be in a middle school or elementary school, or a middle school and high school, and then I'll be in an elementary school.
That's got to be a very interesting thing to do, especially during this time.
Yeah.
When everybody is very on edge, and especially, children and what they've had to go through
Yeah.
everything and not being able to be in school and stuff like that.
There's a lot of research coming out right now about the effects of the pandemic on kids.
Can't imagine it's very good.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. But it's obviously something that's never really happened before.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how some kids are like flourishing, honestly doing super well with virtual learning, and then some kids are like haven't learned anything in a year, and they're
probably
just
are
like,
feeling very left behind.
oh yeah, 100%.
Right. How do you even make that up?
No. So a lot of people are talking about summer classes. I don't think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's just kind of going in with the knowledge that, like, they don't have these skills yet, like their grade level skills, acknowledging it and just going from there.
Damn.
I
That
don't
sounds
know.
scary.
I can't imagine being in like elementary school right now.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're tiny.
They have no idea what's going on.
No, not
That's
a
something
clue.
I really never even thought about. I mean, I guess a little bit because I have some friends that are teachers and stuff, but yeah, and it really is like, I don't know, when it comes down to it, I feel like that's who has gotten the short end of the stick through this
my
entire
gosh.
thing has been kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, when you look at, especially for virtual learning, for like underprivileged kids,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and just
There are kids that they haven't heard from in a year. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
no idea
Right.
what went on with these kids. They're not in school at all. They obviously, a lot of people don't have Wi-Fi or access to laptops. So these kids are just AWOL. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Do you work in like those kinds of communities?
That is my goal.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to get to.
Yes. So that's my end goal, is to work in urban settings.
Okay. So what is your experience so far? Like, I assume you've been doing some sort of hands-on stuff, right?
So right now, since it's my first year. I don't work in a school yet. That's for next semester. But I am doing something through UB called APS, which is I'm an athletic performance specialist.
Whoa, that's not school psychology.
Way fancier. I actually counsel kids academically, like who are on in the athletics department.
Okay.
So they obviously have hours and hours of practices, and then they have their classwork. And so I just help them balance their lives, and I help with like goal setting, and by the next meeting you'll have this chunk of your essay done, and I help them with literally anything they ever need help with.
Wow.
So that's kind of like school psychology.
Yeah. Do you like it? Do you like doing it?
Some days I love it so much because it can be so rewarding when a kid like they get it.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
and you watch it click.
Yes. Yeah. And you see like the light in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you get it now. And then some days it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure. Yeah, you can't always have good breakthroughs.
No.
That's probably something that you learn. Or have to accept peace.
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Came to terms with that
right,
a long time ago.
Yeah, you kind of have to for sure. I'm interested. Do you, when you're in school and learning all this stuff, do they? I feel like they have to talk about social media and how much that is playing into the psychology of children, as well as just like. Just technology in general, and how all these kids just kind of have devices in their hands all the time. And that, I mean, I have two nephews who are always, they're just sucked into their tablets like at all times, and I'm just like, I can't imagine what that's like.
It's
like
scary to watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So this is like the first generation, well, like kids in high school now, and like a little bit older. That's the first generation of kids who were like born and raised with technology.
Right.
So they're the population that's being studied because they're kind of coming into adulthood now, which is weird to think about.
Yeah.
But my friend did a presentation about this topic, and apparently they didn't about mental health and social media.
Sure.
And they didn't really see any difference for this huge survey they did. Like kids who used social media more, or kids who weren't allowed to use social media, they didn't get a significant difference, like
That's
a statistical
super
difference. I was blown away
Yeah.
because you would think that kids on social media has an impact on like adult mental health.
That's what.
Right?
Yeah, you've got to tell me twice. Yeah, I know, man. I know. That's what I had, social media when I was in high
13,
school,
yeah.
and like in middle school, but I don't know, to have it, and I don't know if they do have it that young. I don't know if these kids.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, my two nephews are on TikTok all the time, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna bash them for that because I love TikTok.
Same.
Yeah.
Constantly on TikTok.
That's my shit. It's really, really interesting. I just find it, I mean, obviously, not to be all the children are our future, but like they are,
They are.
And it's, seeing how people, I don't know, through like the whole pandemic, and I keep talking about this, but we all had a chance to kind of take a step back and like look at shit, right? And it's like, what are we doing here? How are we going about the things that we're doing? And I think a lot of that plays into like kids growing up, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't have, besides my nephews, those literally the only example I have. Like, I don't really have kids around in my life, so I'm one of the youngest in my family. But that's why, I mean, we were having a conversation. When was that? When I was at your apartment last weekend, 2 weekends ago. Time all blends together now.
I don't. It's a concept.
Yeah. But I don't remember what we were talking about, but that obviously something happened where I was like, I think you should go on the podcast and talk about this. Do you remember what we were talking about or no?
Oh.
It's okay if you don't. We can just keep going.
I don't know if I remember.
Yeah, I feel like it was something with your work and I don't know, just underprivileged kids. I feel like you were talking about.
Oh.
I don't know. You had a lot of good insight on stuff I never even thought about, and that's why I wanted to, have you on. So.
Oh, I was listening to, I think it was your second episode, and you were like talking about how you don't know how to make people more empathetic.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
right? Yes.
Okay,
and I was like sitting there listening to it. And I was like, the children.
Yeah.
Start with the children.
Start with the children.
Yeah. So I'm doing this 45-minute presentation, which is like an inclusivity toolkit And we each got a topic, and I like begged my teacher. I was like, please let me do LGBTQ kids, please.
That's what we were talking about.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I like did all this research, and they were talking about empathy training, and that is the biggest. Kids who do empathy training, they have the lowest incidence of bullying in their schools. Makes sense, right? But if you raise empathetic kids, it's like a practice. Empathy is a practice. And so the more they practice it in schools, it's more innate to them when they get out into the real world. You raise empathetic tiny humans, and they grow up to empathetic bigger adults.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's so easy to teach empathy and to model empathy for kids. And you can change their lives.
Yeah. by
just showing them how to care about someone or noticing when someone's upset.
Yeah, that's interesting if you put a focus on it. And then the bullying thing was because yeah, I do notice that. I mean, in young kids, it's hard to try to, at least, you know, in my experience, and I'm not a person who's prides myself on how I work with children, but you know, even I hear them say some things, you know what I mean, where they like will judge somebody or something, or make fun of a kid because they look different or something, and you know, part of that's just like, all right, well, they're just a kid or whatever. But when I don't know how to explain to them that I'm like, I mean, just why does it matter?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, they look at me like I got two heads. They're like, what do you mean? Like,
He's different.
I'm 10. I don't know why things matter. Like, you know what I mean?
Pretty much. But the best thing to do for kids that age is to model empathy. So if you hear them saying stuff like that, you can walk up to that individual and give them a compliment. It's like super small things that kids pick up on.
Yeah.
And it becomes a habit for them.
Mm. So this project that you were working on, what was the project? Like, what went into it?
So
I assume a lot of research.
Oh my gosh, so much research.
That's, I think anything in a master's program, I don't have a master's degree, nor have I ever gone to graduate school, but I just assume it's just all research.
So much. I have like 7 pages of references after it.
Yeah.
But I found this survey from GLSEN, so the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, something with an N.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they do a survey every 2 years. They get like, I think it was 56,000 kids to take this online survey.
No, when we're talking kids.
School age populations.
Just elementary school?
Oh, no. School age, like kindergarten to 12.
Oh, okay.
Like,
just
yeah.
That's school age.
School.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Right? You know, the age of in school children.
So much.
It's important.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Gotta figure it out.
Anyway.
Right. So I think the population of LGBTQ children was like 11,000, which is like a pretty decent population for statistical significance.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would assume that it would be like better in schools now. Not so much. I don't know.
guess it probably depends where, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nationwide. So I would love to see the statistics of like different states and different places,
right,
for like bullying statistics and stuff. But the biggest thing that like blew my mind was so many of those kids are bullied by their teachers for being gay or
really,
yes, being gender nonconforming, what have you.
Interesting. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right?
Yeah, you're the guy that's supposed to, you know,
you're molding the minds of tomorrow. What are you doing?
How interesting. I think about a lot of times of like some miserable teachers that I've had in my life, and I'm just like, why did you do this? You know what I mean? Like you were just saying, like you're molding the minds of tomorrow, right?
You went to school for this.
Yeah, you put so much time, and it seems like you really hate what you do, and you hate children. Like, I
don't understand.
Teachers who are just dicks for no reason. Like, it's like,
they have a superiority complex. You give any one person like any
kind of power. It has to be something like that, right? Yeah. For them, it's just like, I want to be molding the minds how I think they should be molded. You know what I mean? It's like, because I got it figured out.
Could you imagine?
What a horrible mindset of a teacher.
And it's more common than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was like, I wish I could remember the statistic. It was like 78% of kids were bullied by their teacher for not conforming to their assigned sex at birth. So like they weren't masculine enough or they weren't feminine enough. It's like, dude.
What do you, I'm interested is like, and the reason I asked about like what age these kids were talking about is because like, I wonder what age it's like, I don't know, that the most popular age that like, you know, people start to realize this like nonconformity thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have any insights to that.
Middle school is
that would
when
make sense.
sexual orientation
Right.
kind of emerges. But I was listening to this TED Talk while doing research for this project, obviously. And
TED Talks are research.
I thought so. Kids have a good idea of their own gender identity at the age of 4.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Also blew my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, you know. Because like, yeah, I don't know. And it's not a world that I'm very familiar with, you know, but I do think about it, and it's, you know, because I look back and I'm like, maybe was, you know,
yeah.
And I start thinking, I'm like, was there ever a point where I questioned, you know, and I'm just like, start thinking about it, but I'm like, no, I don't fucking know. Like, no, I think I'm good, like where I'm at, but, no, I don't know. It's, sorry, I'm hungover and tired, so I'm losing my train of thought a lot, but, 4 years old.
Yes.
Being like, I don't think I'm feeling this, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because as a parent, you know, like, I'm sure, you know, the same way that you're saying like a teacher would bully. I mean, I'm sure there's parents that are like, you're 4.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's just easy to write that off. And it's like, maybe we should pay attention to that, though. I don't know, you know?
If they're telling you something, they know themselves.
That's true.
When you're 4,
Yeah.
like, you're starting to get it figured out.
Right.
I would listen to them. I also don't think I would ever raise my child, like, in a gender. You know, like, put boys in all the truck stuff and, like, girls in all the tutus and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I don't think I would.
I was talking recently. I mean, okay, so you and I have been split on this topic for a while, but I love Taylor Swift. And you are not a Taylor Swift.
I'm really sorry. I do love Taylor Swift. I promise.
All right. Well, there was the one night we were at Frizzy's and you were yelling at me.
I never live this down.
I was just like, I just don't understand why you just won't let me like her.
So drunkated.
Yeah, I know. I understand. All is well.
I pick weird battles.
Yeah.
Like, I
that's what
really
I love about you,
do.
You got spunk, you know?
Like, that's what I'm going to be mad about right now.
Yeah, you're very passionate. And that's the people I want on this show are very passionate people.
Strange passions.
Yeah.
But,
we'll still passion. Passion's still good. It doesn't matter what it is. Unless it's like, I don't know, murder. But yeah.
I don't do that.
Are you into like murder podcasts?
So into murder podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's not. I haven't.
Right.
I haven't dove in. I haven't dove in. I didn't. I'm not into it.
I want to save that.
Yeah,
sound
we'll use that for the promo for sure. Yeah, I haven't checked them out, and I think I'm just apprehensive because I think I would be very obsessed with it, and then I wouldn't leave time for. What are you doing?
I'm gonna leave you a list of all the ones you have to listen to.
I know there's a last podcast on the left. Is that one of them? I just like the name of that one.
That is a really good one. Crime Junkie's a good one. Case File. He's Australian, so he says Case File.
Case File.
Case File.
Yeah,
I like him.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't. I've never listened. I'm sure I would love them because that's. I mean, who like those stories are so compelling, and it's like keeps you engaged, get your mind going.
Right.
Yeah.
I love thinking about. Well, it sounds so morbid, but like thinking about how someone's brain works that way.
Yeah, the psychology behind it. Yeah.
Yes, like a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I didn't find them so interesting because like a lot of the time they do really bad things.
Yeah.
But
it is interesting. It is interesting that someone has. I mean, sociopathic is some mental illness, right?
Yeah, I think it's like the inability to
feel compassion for
other
people.
You don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel sad.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird chemical imbalance.
I know Jeffrey Dahmer's mother was taking phenobarbital and antidepressants
when she was pregnant
with him, and then
he fucked something up.
Yeah, and then he also had a hernia in his skull, and he was fine until he was 4. He got the hernia fixed, and then he just like
was Jeffrey Dahmer. No, I was thinking of Ted Bundy. I was gonna say was he the handsome one? Yeah, because that was crazy.
Yes,
the Ted Bundy thing with like I haven't now, dude. I haven't watched any of this shit because I know there's like 30 Ted Bundy documentaries and movies. There's a movie with Zac Efron or something. I don't know if it's out yet.
I have not seen that one.
Is it out? It exists,
I think it's
right?
on Netflix.
Yeah, it's got a really long title.
Probably.
Yeah, there's somebody who's listening to this going, oh my God, I know what it is. I haven't watched it, but no, I think that was, I mean, the Ted Bundy thing was what, the 70s?
I think so.
Yeah, when like people just, if they was on TV and they were good looking, they were like, sign me up.
I'm into that.
I'm on that guy's side.
Oh, yeah. I think
Crazy.
a lot of serial killers have like huge like fangirl followings. Like I was watching a documentary on the Night Stalker, who like,
yeah.
not an attractive man. He
Yeah.
was like missing several teeth and was like very scary. Looked like a little ghost.
Did you watch that hotel one?
Hotel Cecil?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't watch that either, but I don't watch anything, but I did watch my mom is really into like the ghost hunter shows.
Oh.
She loves those. I think they're funny. But she is like very into them. And so I got her Discovery Plus.
Aw.
You know,
what a
and
nice son.
Well, I'm not paying for it. I made it sound like I did. I just helped her sign up. You know what I mean?
I appreciate the clarification.
I just told her, I'm like, hey, there's this new streaming service. There's another one that they came out with, but this one's got everything that you like.
My mom's obsessed.
Yeah, my mom's like, it's got TLC, HGTV,
Yep.
Lifetime.
Yep.
Like, it's got everything that you love. She's watching some weird Lifetime show now. Some sort of love show, some like weird dating experiment show. It's based in Australia or some shit. I don't know. She's
no
really
idea.
into it though.
Oh, I'm happy for her.
yeah.
We all have to have our passions.
Totally. Yeah, my mom loves Discovery Plus, man. So I got her onto Discovery Plus, and now she's just been like, she loves it.
Straight
you know what I mean?
up
She's like, why do
addicted.
we even have cable? This is all I want.
It
you
has
know?
everything.
Yeah. She still watches cable though.
Really?
Dude, my parents are funny.
I love your
I
parents.
like, you know, have the whole smart system set up so that like they could literally tell Alexa what they want the TV to do and it'll happen. And they just are like, no, we're just gonna watch cable. Like, yeah, I'm like, dude, you pay, like, we got the ad-free version of Discovery Plus, and they're still like dealing with commercials and stuff. Wild. Anyway, Ghost Hunters, the Cecil Hotel, is that what it's called? Yeah, I watched like an episode of that, and they were talking about the Night Stalker and stuff like that. In my opinion, that episode of the Ghost Hunters thing was pretty bad. But I think most of them are, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, they have these weird devices.
Yes.
You know, and they're like, this is going to pick up, and it's going to convert it to text. I'm like, who made that?
I see them on TikTok all the time.
How does that, I don't know.
I wish I could tell. There's like ones where it talks. Like the ghost tries to
like a
communicate
speak and
with you. Yeah, like a speak and spell. Literally like a speak and spell. And then they like put captions under it, and I was like, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
That ghost did not say its name was Katie. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, weird. And of course, it's like says exactly what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's at that point, I'm like, all right, I'm checked out of this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You gonna get some ghost hunting equipment to go with your
The
all this-
podcast,
yeah, the
make it a
podcast.
ghost hunting podcast. One time
That has
in
promise.
this specific room,
Oh no.
I used to share. No, this is not.
Okay.
I don't know. It was a weird thing. So actually, this is not a large room. Liam and I used to share this room.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So we had a bed on each wall here. And the one night we were just hanging out in here, and a light bulb just like exploded on its own.
Oh no.
Yeah. And we didn't even question it. We were like, that was a ghost for sure. Like there's
Moved
no.
on.
Yeah. They were like, there was no way that was anything else. Like we were literally just chilling. And like the lights were on, and one of the bulbs just literally shattered, like exploded, and just glass was just all over the floor. And we were just both chilling in here, just like, cool. So this house is haunted, and we're moving on. Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. I don't think it is though.
I would imagine our building's haunted, but I haven't.
It's
I
an old
haven't seen
building.
anything questionable.
Didn't that building used to be a school
Yes,
of some
it
sort?
was
Yeah,
a
schools are haunted.
schoolhouse. For sure.
They have to
Every
be.
school has to be haunted.
Yeah, but the janitors at least.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm really terrified.
Do you have creepy shit that happens in your apartment?
No, I
Oh.
almost wish we did. Because like it seems like the place where that should happen.
Yeah. Maybe you're just not looking for it.
All right, I gotta get some ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah,
Help
that's what
me
I'm
out?
saying. Yeah. If I can figure it out, man, I'll bring whatever I can to get that going.
All right, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Politically, you and I are very aligned.
So similar.
Yeah, and normally I don't like for this podcast. I was like, I don't know, but like I'm also me, you know.
That's
it's
a
like
good
when
point.
the fuck am I not talking about this shit? You know what I mean? So
It's
like,
important.
yeah, absolutely, you're correct.
I mean, I think it's.
I keep trying to like, you know, accept peace. That's just like, I'm not gonna fucking change anybody's mind. I can just keep it to myself. And then there's
Right.
sometimes where I just get so wrapped up in it that I'm like, I have to talk about this at all times.
I'm literally incapable
Yeah,
of
and
keeping it
we're similar in
to
that way.
myself.
Yeah.
My family is super conservative.
Oh, for real?
So conservative.
Are your parents?
Yes.
Oh.
So my dad's Hindu and my mom's Catholic.
Yeah.
And then they're both like the most Republican people.
Right.
And then my grandma is like hard into QAnon right now.
Your grandma?
My grandmother.
How old is your grandmother?
80.
80.
She's turning
Super
81 in
QAnon.
July.
Is this your...
My mom's mom.
Your mom's mom. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She's like hardcore
And what's
into
her
it.
background?
She grew up super, super poor in the middle of nowhere, met my grandpa, and then like popped out 5 kids. And
Nice.
There they all are.
My grandma's story was similar, except she did 10 kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your family's gigantic.
I have no idea, but I don't know. Maybe, but they are Catholic,
Oh, yeah.
and they don't. I was gonna say something insensitive. I'm not gonna say something insensitive.
I
So
appreciate that.
they keep their kids. They love if they get pregnant, they are keeping them
Yes.
and they're having them. And thank God, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
While my little brother's around, he was
Right.
an accident.
Right. Yeah. No.
And I remind him
most
of
of
that.
us. I would say like 85% of my family was not supposed to be here. But
Well, hey.
we're chilling.
Yeah.
We're vibing.
Yeah, what are you gonna
I'm
do?
sorry if that was insensitive at all. So anyway, but
What are you going to do?
yeah, I don't know.
It's
Moving
so
on.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like heavily indoctrinated into the Catholic Church
Yeah,
because
same.
I went to a Catholic school until I was until 4th grade. 4th grade on, I was homeschooled by my mother. And
Whoa.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
4th grade to 12th grade?
4th grade to 10th grade.
Okay.
And then I went to a community college and got my GED. But the curriculum,
Interesting.
right? But the curriculum she chose was like everything was math for young Catholics, spelling for young Catholics, vocabulary for young
Wow.
Catholics.
It was literally like
everything
Catholic
was
school.
Catholic.
That's wild.
It was
Catholic
more
math.
Catholic than my
Mathflick.
Catholic private school that I went to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. I
wild.
went to Catholic school for a little bit, but it was like really the only Catholic part about it was like religion class or whatever.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Did you have to go to church?
Yeah.
We had to go to church every Friday.
I don't remember how often we went. Most people seem to say that it was a once a week thing.
Yeah.
I do not remember.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Blocked it all out.
Yeah. I don't know if I have some repressed memories going on there, but I hope I don't. But I have, I don't know. It might have been once a week. That seems like a lot though.
Right?
I don't know if I remember going that much, but it all felt the same, you know?
To like take a chunk out of a school day
Yeah.
to sit in a church. It was wild.
Church is so weird.
Bizarre to me.
It's just
Absolutely
like,
bizarre to me.
Once a week, you're going to go here for an hour. We're going to eat this man alive.
Drink his blood.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're all like, yeah.
This is, yeah.
They're like, this is how we make ourselves good people.
Do you hear, like, what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
We're going to practice cannibalism.
Yeah. Kind of.
And then we're
yeah.
going to be great.
Yeah.
I have, like, I've been going through it with the whole post-indoctrination stuff.
Tell me more.
Figuring out, like, I don't know. I think of myself as an agnostic.
Right.
Because I'm like, you absolutely do you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, like, messing anyone up, like, live your life. I vibe with that. But they, obviously, people are using that message to be terrible people.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sitting
You know
here
what's funny?
like, you missed the point.
I've been watching this older show on HBO, and there was a scene where this dude, like, cheats on his wife with, like, a stripper or something, and then he, you know, the guilt's eating at him, and then he just goes into some random church and just goes to confession and just tells the priest, and the priest is like, all right, man, I mean, that's kind of fucked up, but
You're good now.
say the acts of contrition or whatever. And the dude was like, all right. And then he just like did it. And then he like just forgave himself. And I think that was the point that the show was trying to make, is that, you know, there's people who just do that, you know what I mean? Because people can't sit with their own shit. So they have to, you know,
Tell a priest and then
right.
not tell your wife.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
what?
all is forgiven because you're forgiven in the eyes of God. Yeah.
I will never understand. I used to, oh my gosh, hated going to confession. I was always just like,
I think I really only went, and then I talked about this in the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I really only went for my first penance.
oh, my mom made me go.
Yeah.
Like,
Your parents are devout Catholic.
oh my gosh.
They still make you go to church?
No. Oh my
Yeah.
God, thank God.
When did they?
I think they gave up on me when, it must have been like 16, 17.
Yeah, that seems.
And my mom like is super cute. Like she still invites me
Your
to go.
Your parents are very nice people.
So
They're
nice.
very hospitable.
They're so nice. Little cuckoo.
Yeah.
But like
that's
whose
everybody's
parents
parents,
aren't,
right?
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom like invites me. She's like, "We're going to church if you want to come."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's okay. Have fun."
Yeah, my mom will ask as like a joke. You know? And we laugh.
Do your parents go to church every Sunday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were doing virtual church.
Oh yeah, my mom was doing that.
Yeah, they loved it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My mom. Okay,
they would sit at the computer and Facebook Live.
Yes.
Yep, and I would wake up on Sunday morning and come down, like, a lot of singing going on.
Yep.
In here. I mean, like you said, good for them. Whatever you gotta do. You know, my parents are good people. So.
Yeah, my mom is like a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Some of like the places she gets her views are questionable.
Sure.
Right?
Well, that's really what it is. Like, I mean, my grandparents are both conservative, and I don't know if they always have, but I know that all they do is watch Fox News.
I think my mom has at least like stopped watching Fox News. My grandma stopped watching Fox News because they're too far left.
Right.
I was like, oh, grandma.
Isn't it crazy,
yes.
dude? Like the political spectrum of like where when you start to realize it, of like how far right some people are getting, and like how
I keep scooching further to the left. I was like, I gotta get away.
Yeah, I'm so left. It's insane. Like through this whole thing, like all I've been doing is just like educating myself more and just like reading a lot more. And I'm just like, you know, I used to consider myself, you know, just like liberal, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck liberals, bro.
I am a socialist.
Yeah.
Emerge from the pandemic, like
right. Yeah.
with your hammer and sickle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm communist now.
I love the so is your TikTok feed all like communist and socialist? Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. Mine's like a lot of social justice, which makes me so happy.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why TikTok rules. They figured it out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like, this is everything I want to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. And I've learned so much. There have been so many GoFundMes that I learned about, different organizations that I learned about, and I think it was like Gen Z for Justice or something.
Ooh.
There's like a bunch of high schoolers, and they're putting together like all these facts, this huge website of like ways to prove your point, because like they know what they think.
Yeah.
They just don't have the facts to back it up, because they're
been
children.
Great for me to have.
Same.
Back then. It is the Gen Z political awareness thing is pretty sweet.
I'm alive for it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I remember I was reading about something, maybe I was watching something talking about how that's become such a huge thing. And you know, of course there's a bunch of adults that are like,
they don't know anything.
When I was a kid, we didn't care because we didn't have to. It was like, yeah, well, when you were a kid, the economy favored you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh. I was learning. Okay, so I took this training, this mandatory training. It was called an ALICE training. So ALICE people are above the poverty line, so they enough so that they don't qualify for
benefits,
support and benefits. Yeah. And so we had to do this training where we were given limited funds, and we had to kind of be this family and decide where we're going to allocate our funds. And then a family emergency happens, and so we have to like take money away. And I learned about, have you ever heard of the GI Bill? Am I the only one who's like just learning about this?
With like the military?
Yes.
Yeah.
When like veterans came home and they gave all the white veterans like housing and education. I can't believe I was just learning about this.
Yeah,
this blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, World War II specifically, and I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about it, but I know the gist of it.
I clearly know nothing.
Well, just that, you know, basically, I mean, dude, we've seen, once you take a real look at American history and everything, and you see how they just kept reinventing slavery in new ways. And they were like, yeah, go fight our wars. And when you come back, we'll take care of you. And then they came back and they were like,
just kidding.
JK.
Yep.
Second class citizen.
Pretty much.
Thanks for the help, though.
Blows my mind. And like the prison industrial complex right now.
Oof. Have you seen the documentary 13th?
I have.
Yeah, good shit. Not good shit, but the documentary is a good documentary.
It was really well done.
For sure.
I I don't understand how people can look at a system like that. And obviously I'm studying it as far as schools go, where it's housing, it's taxes on houses that get put towards the schools, like in like
property tax.
Yes, property tax. Thank you. It gets put towards the schools, and that's why schools in nice neighborhoods are very nice, and schools like where people are paying rent are awful, and they have no resources, they have no support. And I don't remember what I was saying, but the
Happens to me all the
system,
time.
the whole system.
There you go, and we're back.
How can you look at that and say, this is good?
Yeah.
Let's keep it this way.
Yeah. Because, again, this all goes back to trying to build a more empathetic society.
Right.
It's people don't care because it doesn't affect them.
Another weird thing I learned was that Walmart is one of the biggest lobbyists for policy involving schools. They write education policy. And you know why Walmart writes education policy?
To keep people dumb?
To keep people uneducated.
So that they keep working at Walmart?
Yep. And as soon as I don't know if this is true, but I saw
Grain of salt.
Yep.
We're good.
So I saw that when you get a job at Walmart, they give you the paperwork for SNAP.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that true?
I mean, I don't know. I read that on the internet as well. But I did see that.
Our Twitter feed's probably exactly the same.
I did see that. So, I mean, can't confirm or deny. I've never worked at Walmart or know that, but I did see that. So I assume, I mean,
why are they allowed to do this? In what way does this make sense?
Yeah. Shit's fucked up.
Yes.
For sure. And very rich people are ruining everything.
Yeah, I guess that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, and it sucks because I really hate to be the doom and gloom guy, but it's just like the more you realize what's happening, it's just like, fuck, dude, everything is fucked.
But like at the same time, I just want to have this like tiny little glimmer of hope within me that like this generation
you can do.
knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And is gonna maybe fix it while I'm in a nursing home.
I hope so. I love Gen Z.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I kind of am one. I'm the elder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
95, baby.
You're 95?
Yeah, July 95.
But you were ahead of us in college.
Yeah, well, I only did 3 years.
Wicked smart? You just skipped a grade?
Wicked smart.
Yeah.
I did 3 years at Fredonia. And I had a different major every year.
That's crazy.
I was absolutely crazy.
Wow. I was picking a major. What a thing.
Hated every second.
Think about that idea of just putting yourself into that much debt and just being like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I was BFA musical theater aide.
Yeah.
What was I going to do with that?
I went for music business and audio production.
That's working out beautifully.
Well, the audio production part I figured out.
And music business.
Yeah.
You're honestly exactly where you should be.
I guess. I'm just in a lot of debt.
Well.
Yeah. I'm throwing a lot of my student loans right now, though.
I mean, it could get forgiven.
I like this with the fingers of being like, just a little bit.
Please, Mr. Biden, could I have some debt forgiveness?
That guy doesn't care about anybody.
No. I mean, I'm not mad at like some of the things he's doing.
Sure. Yeah, at least he's doing something.
Yes.
That's where the bar is.
Oh, I wish it wasn't where the bar was, but it is.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
It's better than the alternative. Yeah. I just keep telling myself that.
Right.
I can't believe the alternative was the alternative.
That's what I'm saying,
but
dude.
Like,
that it's like, this was the best choice. And it's just like, this guy.
Just sad.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. Did you see the thing that Mitch McConnell said about
probably
corporations?
Oh, yes.
So I can't remember exactly.
I know, I can't
but
either.
Basically, he just like came straight out and was like, "Yeah, we don't want corporations involved in our politics except for lobbying." And it's like, dude, that's what that is.
That's
like,
literally
that is what,
the definition.
Right. But the fact that he was just like, "Yeah, this happens and we're cool with it." You know what I mean? It's like, how does anybody support that?
I don't know.
I don't get it, man. And I don't get how people don't hate the rich. I just don't understand that. Like, people who like defend billionaires blows my mind.
Well, you're not gonna be that.
No.
Like,
and they're making it way harder for you to ever get anywhere.
Oh yeah, they're like pushing you down from the top, and you're not getting up here. Not a chance. Yeah. I also saw this quote from Kamala Harris, where she was like, so many wars have been fought over oil, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, now
whoa.
we're just like
We're just saying
we're
it.
like
Yeah.
open about this
Right.
now.
Eventually that just like, and that's just American politics. It's just like, eventually they just say it. You know?
They just say it out loud.
Right. Yeah. Something. I mean, that's like the Republican Party's platform. That's their whole thing. It's like, we just say it, and then people are like, we love that.
You have to appreciate the honesty at a certain point, but like
guess.
when you're being honest about these horrifying
Right.
things that you're
Right,
doing,
'cause
maybe keep it to yourself. Like,
Right. And that's the whole joke everybody makes you, is that it's like Republicans they're evil. They're just not going to lie to you about it. But Democrats are evil and are just going to lie to you about it.
Oh, for sure.
And just going to pretend that they're not, you know. And
Absolutely.
it's the meme of the planes dropping bombs, and like the one just has like BLM and the pride flag on it.
Or I saw a whole bunch of, it was under a bridge somewhere, and it was like Spike's anti-homeless architecture.
Yeah.
But it was painted rainbow. I was like,
yeah.
I know
Dude,
you're trying.
How about investing money into like homeless, like
benches, park benches, and that kind of stuff? Yeah. I
how
saw
about
one
you
yesterday.
invest in the homeless people?
Right?
It's insane.
I saw one yesterday on
This
Upwork.
country just shits on the poor.
Over and over again. Like, we made you poor, and now we're going to shit on you. Because we absolutely can.
That's fucked, man.
And we're going to keep making policies that make you poorer.
So, sorry, everybody, that we're getting all... This is how it is, though. This is what's happening out there. But what we can do...
What can we do?
Is just try to build a more empathetic society.
That's literally
because I think
my
that
thing.
really is the key to all. I think that solves gun violence.
Yes.
I think, you know what I mean. Like the thing is like, I am not on the gun thing. I'm weird, you know, because like once you get far enough left, you're like, we need the guns.
I can see that.
Right, but I am not against gun regulation. Obviously, there's common sense gun regulation that we can't even get past. But my point is, you know, I don't think there's any sort of state like, you know, if they do, like Colorado was talking about like a statewide assault weapons ban. It's like, all right, well that doesn't really fucking work, because then you just have bordering states that are just gonna
drive across.
Right.
Get one anyway.
It needs to be a federal.
Oh, absolutely.
Thing, but who knows? Anyway. The empathy thing.
Yes.
You know, because I think we have a huge, and I hate to say this because this is like the rights argument, is that it's not a gun problem, it's a mental health problem. It's like, okay, yes, you're correct, but you also don't give a shit about that either. So like, but that's, I mean, what I think it is like, you know, recognizing, you know, people who feel left out of society.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And not saying that. And the reason it's a bad argument by the right is because it's like, okay, well, yeah, I have fucking mental health issues too, and I've never, that's the argument. But so, which is, correct. But, you know, I don't know. I think if we have people who are just looking out for people and being more caring and accepting of everybody, I don't think those kinds of things would happen.
I also firmly believe that everyone should be in therapy. Therapy should be affordable.
I said that in episode 1, man.
Therapy should be affordable.
Yeah.
Therapy should be accessible.
Medicare for all is the most obvious.
Yes.
It's like 70% of the country is like in favor of it, and like they're not even talking about it.
Nope.
Some people are. Some of the politicians that I follow on Twitter, are like trying, and it's like I appreciate the effort, but like I mean, nobody's listening to you.
You gotta think that like as people in Congress pass on, you replace them with people who are a little, you know, inching to the left.
Yeah, you would think, but even I don't know. I mean, we're losing AOC.
I can't even understand.
Yeah, it sucks to see that. I was a big AOC, and she's just very
big into AOC.
Yeah, she's just very about Biden, and she's very about playing to the center, and I'm just like, and part of me gets it.
It sucks to have to get it,
but it's like,
it?
Yeah, it does, but it's like, because you want to keep your seat, I guess. But it's like, somebody's got to be calling these people out, man. That's what we like. I mean, Bernie Sanders
Sweet boy Bernie.
Which is crazy, bro. How old is he? He's like almost 80.
He's been this forever. And I
Forever.
vibe with that.
Yeah.
I
That's what I'm
know
saying.
you're
That's
not
why you can
feeding-
trust this guy.
You're not feeding me bullshit because I
Yeah.
saw you I saw pictures of you being arrested.
Right, from like protest, civil
Yes,
rights protests,
civil
and
rights
shit.
protests,
Yeah.
like, you
and
were
then
there.
like when he was, involved in Congress in like the 80s and 90s, and like those videos of him saying that shit back then, dude, and people, and it's like, how have we been disrespecting this man?
I vibe with him so hard.
And that dude loves this country.
I
He really
know.
does, and he loves the American people, and that's why it's just like, dude, I don't. Like, dude, you even got Joe Rogan endorsing him, which people forget. Joe Rogan endorsed Bernie Sanders. Was like, this is my guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
Just basically, there was a lot of people on the right that liked him.
As far as my family went,
Well,
they're not a
maybe
big
not
fan.
Yeah,
They're the only people I know on the right.
yeah.
So like that's my base.
Some of my family is there too, but it's my family that is mostly uneducated. So.
I don't do
And
it.
I don't know. When I hear what they say, I'm like, yeah, of course that's what you think. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, it's like, I know exactly why you have that opinion.
I said the exact same thing
Yeah.
to my mother on the phone the other day.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about trans youth and hormone blockers.
Okay.
I was like, hormone blockers, totally safe thing to use. And she was like, I just don't think it's right. If a boy's a boy,
Yeah.
they
And
should
it's
grow
like,
up to
yeah.
be a boy. And I was like, I understand like why you would have that opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say to you. I
Dude,
was like,
my
this is
thing is,
evidence-based
like-
practices.
Right. And I guess this goes back to not having empathy, but just like, how do you not like, what do you think our goal here is? Like
Right.
us who are in favor of this, what do you think we're trying to do?
Oh, it's an agenda, Aiden.
How,
don't
though?
know.
That's like,
I
I
was
want somebody to
literally-
answer that question. It's just like, what do you,
What
it's
could
even,
possibly be my
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah.
besides making sure kids have like proper mental health care?
right.
Hello? Have you
Yeah.
met me?
Yeah. Hey man, we're just trying to make people feel like they can be themselves, like at the end of the day.
Precisely.
You know what I mean?
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, that's unsafe.
Are your parents, I mean, do they like, I assume they watch a lot of TV. I can only assume that people on the right you just watch TV all
My
day. and just
mom, well, Discovery Plus. Yeah, she's right there all the time.
yeah.
Yep.
But like, as far as like watching the news and stuff.
She has been so much better about
Okay,
not
good.
watching the news. And I think it's because my grandma's going cuckoo to the right and my mom is scooching further to the left.
'cause she's
and
like,
it
I don't
makes
wanna
me
put
so
that.
happy.
Yeah.
She's like hearing how insane it sounds coming out of my grandma's
Were
mouth.
did any of them freak out about the Dr. Seuss thing?
I think my mom asked me what it was about.
Yeah.
I'm sure my grandma's freaking out about it. I try not to talk to my grandma that much. for my
Yeah,
mental
I
health.
understand. I see. Did you see? I mean, there's TikToks I see of people talking about like, they're like right-winged parents or something, and be like busting their room, and be like, "Did you hear? The left is canceling Dr. Seuss," and they're just like, "What the fuck are you talking
Where
about?"
did you get
Yeah,
that?
like it's just like, and that's like, the talking points they pick are just insane.
And it was Dr.
Absolutely insane.
Seuss's family who did it.
Yeah, it was a completely private thing. Same thing
Yes.
with the Potato Head thing.
Yes.
It was a private company that made an executive decision. Nobody fucking made them. Nobody was.
They were doing this with Aunt Jemima.
Right.
And
Yeah, because they were trying
Uncle
to.
Ben's rice.
Yeah, they were just trying to be progressive.
Uh-huh.
That's literally it. And then
Oh, can't get Aunt
it's cancel
Jemima
culture.
on my
It's cancel
syrup
culture.
anymore.
Yeah.
Why are you angry about that? There's children.
Makes no sense, man.
There's
Yeah,
children
that's
who
what I'm
are
saying.
starving.
Yeah.
And that's the battle you're going to
Right.
pick.
Exactly.
Blows my mind.
So, I don't know, and I don't know if you can talk to this. I know that your dad is from India,
Mm-hmm.
and I know India, they like love Donald Trump over there.
They have
Well,
their
I mean,
prime minister.
it's one of the biggest countries in the fucking world, so I'm sure it's pretty mixed. But
Probably.
just I remember seeing during the pandemic, I think Trump went over there,
Yeah.
and like there was just like this stadium filled with, and I'm like, why does India love fucking?
Because.
Tell me.
So they have India's prime minister. His name's Modi. He is very much like Donald Trump,
okay.
Anti-Muslim.
Yeah,
Just
that's a big thing
all
over there.
around-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Where-
ridiculous.
So is Hindu like the biggest?
I think so. It's Hindu.
It's like Christianity here is. Well, I'm sure there's Christianity in India as well.
Jainism, and then Christianity is like in the south part of India.
Okay.
But where my dad's from, I think it's predominantly Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
I
Have you
think.
been there?
Yes, multiple times.
Really?
See my family and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it awesome? It has to be.
I have a great time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice when I'm with my family and we're hanging out, but driving through the city streets, like it's It's so hard.
Yeah.
I want to
It's just
adopt.
crowded with people, right?
There's so many poor kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, can I please adopt you?
Yeah.
But like one time I must have been so young, and we were in Mumbai, and there was a little tiny girl who was so skinny, so malnourished, and I like leaned out the window to give her money, and this older guy like snatched it out of my hand and ran away, and I was like, I was freaking out. And so then we get to like the next intersection, and I just remember hands like reaching in the windows.
Oh, damn.
I was so scared.
How old are you?
Oh, probably like 9.
Oh, wow.
I was so scared, and
Yeah,
I just
that's
wanted to help this
terrifying.
tiny
Right,
child,
of course,
and she like,
yeah.
it's really bad there.
Yeah. What is their? Do you know anything about like their government and like how like are they like a capitalist?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
It makes
Well, because he's just like Trump. So.
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, and when
Money
you have,
over the people.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Well, so that goes back to the other thing. Is like I have this philosophy or theory or whatever, and I'm probably not the first person to come up with this, and I don't claim to be, but what I think about all the time with these kinds of things and trying to understand what the fuck is going on is we have a spectrum of empathy, and on the other end of it is greed.
Sure. Yes. 100%.
And I think that's where everybody exists, and you got a bunch of people that just love
money,
individualism,
things.
and their shit. Yeah. Have you watched the documentary Capital in the 21st Century?
I have not.
It's on Netflix. It's very good.
Okay.
It's basically about like the history of the world economy. At least in the modern age.
Okay.
Basically since the Industrial Revolution, and it's mainly focuses on the United States and like England and all of like the
bigger
world
players.
leader. Yeah. And how everything changed after the Industrial Revolution and how we got to where, but it goes through all this shit through basically how like our economy was killing it until like the 70s, and the 70s, like and since the 70s, they've just been fucking writing all this sort of legislation that nobody's paying attention to, and like, nobody was making a big deal about it until they slowly just pulled out the middle class. And that's what we're living in today. Is we're now living in the beginning of like the real aftermath of what has been going on since then. So I highly recommend that documentary. I think you really like it.
I will for sure be watching that. Did you watch Last Week Tonight, where they talked about the deficit?
No, I haven't watched it. So I gotta be honest. So I used to watch like regularly. I would watch Bill Maher every Friday, and then I would watch Last Week Tonight every Sunday. I want to be clear that I don't like Bill Maher. I really don't, but I like his show.
Okay.
Like I like because he is just the most like center left liberal, like moderate, just dude I don't fuck with. But
I've never listened to Bill Maher.
I mean, he's very moderate. He's just unbelievably moderate, and he's just he's really old, and he's like this old cranky. He's always been single, and he hates children, and
incredible.
Yeah, and he lives in California and complains about California all the time.
All right.
So, but I like hearing his takes on things because I just want to know how, like, because sometimes I'm like, all right, I can't just only drown myself in leftist theory. You know what I mean? Like I need to know but I won't even honor people on the right though. Cause it's like, you're so far gone and you're so far, like there's so much corruption there. There's so much bullshit there. Like I won't even honor your opinion, but like
fair.
So from the center over is where So to me, Bill Maher is like, he's towards the center, so I listen to him there. But I would listen to him. My point is that I would watch his show every Friday, and then I would watch John Oliver on Sunday, which I love John Oliver.
I love John Oliver so much.
So I would watch him every Sunday, but it just, I don't know, it became too much. Just recently, I would say like in the last month, that it was just like, I can't just bombard myself with this all the time, especially John Oliver, because there's a lot of times when John Oliver's show makes me just feel very like down, and like that's not because of how he is. It's just that he just tells the truth,
and he's throwing facts at you. Rapid fire.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, this is what's actually going on. You're like, holy, like it's way worse than we actually think it is for like everything, So it's like, I just had to take a step away from it for a while. So I didn't watch the deficit one. Sounds sad, but let's go.
Actually it was more educational than anything, because
Yeah.
I don't think I fully understood,
I
that
don't.
big old
At that level,
clock
Yeah.
where it's just counting up to trillions and they
I
had to
don't
add
get
another
it, man.
one. It's they were talking about how every time a Republican comes into office, they cut social benefits.
yeah,
And so it actually decreases our the money that we're producing as a country, right? Because people don't have the ability to get to jobs,
right.
so on and so forth. And so a Democrat will come in, reestablish those social benefits, and the income of the money that we produce as a country goes up.
Yeah.
And so apparently, if we were to increase the social benefits, our deficit would go down.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, in my head, that doesn't make any sense, because if we're spending more money, wouldn't it
Yes,
go up?
but you're stimulating the economy.
Right. And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, think about the stimulus checks.
Yes.
That's what saved the economy, because it gave it to us and we put it right back into the economy.
Most people paid off debt.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, that's what I literally my stimulus check was very late this time because I fucked up on my tax returns and flipped some numbers around.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I was very tired when I did those. I'm always tired.
Well, Rory
And
bought an
so-
electric bike, so that stimulated the economy, I suppose.
Oh, that's what that was? That was a stimmy buy?
Yeah.
That thing is sick.
It's ridiculous.
I love it. I was riding around in it when I was at your place. It was great.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, me too. I love
Questionable
that
buy, but stimulate the economy, right?
car. Questionable buy, yeah. So I just threw all mine in my student loans.
Yeah, I mean,
Which felt great. if
I'm
being
sure.
honest. Yeah.
free money to just
Yeah, that's what I'm
pay
saying.
that down.
Yeah. Won't even let myself act like I have it. I'm just gonna throw it right at my student loans.
Yes. That's probably the move. I'm
Yeah.
so bad at money.
But yeah, dude, that's when you invest in American infrastructure and you invest in the American people, the working class, when you invest in the
Yes.
working class, and that's, dude, and when you watch this documentary,
I'm so excited.
the Capitol, that's basically what it proves.
Yeah.
It's like in the 50s and 60s, we literally, like with FDR writing the New Deal in the 40s, and that was literally, the New Deal was just giving a bunch of money to the working class.
Yeah.
Not actually, not like literally, but like
But investing
in a way.
in them.
Yes,
Yeah.
investing in the working class. And that's when we saw the best economy we ever had. And that's why, and also the most educated economy, or the educated society we ever had, because we had a
Yes.
bunch of educated middle class people, because we built a very strong middle class, and then they got educated, and then that's when you get, the civil rights movement. Now, I'm not crediting the civil rights movement with the educated middle class, but because they were educated for the first time, they were able to not just hear, not just write off what black people were, trying to explain to them of what they're trying to fix, so
Yeah.
As an educated society, for the first time, they listened and said, okay, we're with you. You know what I mean? And that's why you had, so obviously I'm not crediting them with it. Obviously they're the leaders of the civil rights movement, but that's like what, that's why it was so successful, is because you had this very educated society that was trying to move forward, and that's how you got that success. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so
It's all in education.
it really is. Education is huge, man. I'm
so
such a
is.
big, my dad's a teacher, and I've got tons of family that are teachers and stuff, and those are my favorite people. Like, all the teachers in my family are my favorite people.
They know
Love
how
teachers.
they know how
Except
to
for those ones we were talking about.
Yeah, the bad teachers, we don't vibe with
fuck
them.
bad teachers.
Fuck bad teachers.
Yeah. You
But
can be doing so much for the world.
Right? And that's why I think socialized education.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
never,
we
never
kinda-
in a
that's
million
basically-
years. They started doing Common Core.
Right.
And
I don't know much about that. I know a lot of people hated it.
I think people were mad about Common Core because of the math.
Yeah.
But the math actually makes sense.
Okay.
So when we add numbers, we add, we just figured out, put them on top of each other. Boop, 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 top to bottom. And then apparently kids now are learning to separate their ones from their tens, from their hundreds. And they have a better grasp of math overall. Because it was
That makes
created
sense.
by scientists. So
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense that it would work.
I love scientists.
Right? Big fan.
Just me over. I love teachers.
I love teachers.
scientists.
I love everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of do. I try to.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard.
It's practicing empathy.
Yeah.
It's a practice, like yoga or meditation.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get good at it.
That's the whole thing, is it's easy. It's so easy to not care,
Yes.
to
just shut off.
Right. And that's, I think, what the big problem is people like, just push a little bit harder, bro.
It's easy. It's so easy to just shut off everything.
Yeah.
And
It's easy
only
to-
worry about yourself.
Exactly. And it's easy to judge quick too. That's the thing that I struggle with. That there's
Snap
sometimes where
judgments.
it's like, yeah, or you see something in your head, you just think like, you know, just a thought goes through your head that you're just like, that's stupid and I should make fun of that. And it's just like, why though?
But could I maybe not?
Right. And that's really what the entire empathy thing is. It's like, just think about it a little bit further than where you just were.
Just, you know,
give
it a
question
good ponder.
Why your initial thought was that.
Yeah. That's, it's a lot. It's just implicit thoughts, implicit bias.
Yeah. And then people just get set into that and they just can't break that.
What's wild to me is when implicit bias was pointed out to me, I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's
Can you
a
explain
thing.
what that is?
Implicit. So there's implicit and explicit bias. Explicit bias is like saying, hey, I'm a racist. You know? Hello, it's me, a racist.
Yeah.
Implicit bias is something that has kind of, it just ingrains itself in you because you see things throughout your life. So a good example is whenever some kind of crime happens or whatever, they show like a mug shot. They'll talk about, if it's a black individual, they'll show this like really scary picture of them, right?
Yeah, and when it's a white kid, he's holding
his diploma.
Yeah. So that's implicit bias or explicit bias?
Implicit bias is when you associate images, like scary images like that. It like just gets ingrained in your head. So when you like, I think the best example my teacher talked about was like, people when they're driving through like a questionable neighborhood, they lock their windows or they lock their doors.
Yeah.
They don't think about it.
Right.
They're just like self-preservation, conditioned to be scared in this environment because there's people around who you saw pictures of on the news and they looked dangerous.
Yeah.
Even though they probably weren't dangerous.
Right. This goes back to what I was talking about on, I don't remember which episode it was, but the idea of shit, that thought just fizzled out of my head. Give me a second.
You're good. You take your time. I'm right here. Not going
Where
anywhere.
was I going with that? The images. Say what you said again.
The images of people who might look dangerous, but probably really aren't dangerous.
I don't know. Don't remember. Wow, that's crazy. I know I was going to go back to, there was an episode where I said something. Fuck, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
It's okay. It happens all the time.
Yeah. I wrote a podcast and this happens every single episode where there's just like, I'm about to say something.
That's like my favorite part though. You're like, I can't remember where I was going with this, so let's just keep going.
Right. Yeah, you just have to, you know. You got to keep moving.
We could sit here in silence until you think about it if you want.
Well,
that
we have people listening. They got to get on with their day, you know.
I guess that's a good point.
We don't want them to just sit here. I'll see how far we've gone. Here, hold on. Is there I don't know how this.
Wee.
Oh, wow. Just over an hour. So here's where I messed up with Kea, is that I go, all right, yeah, we hit an hour. We could wrap this up, and then we talked for 40 more minutes. So I don't want to do that, but I do want to try to end it because we got a little doom and gloom. We got a little, I don't know. How can we... let's go with your family. Right?
Okay.
You have your conservative family.
I sure do.
Do you this might be a tough question, but it's like,
go
do you
for it.
find it, I mean, it's definitely easier to just like let them be how they are.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
100%.
And when you have a grandmother, you know what I mean? It's like, all right,
she's gone.
You're gone.
Oh, yeah.
You're a
She's
lost
long
cause.
gone.
Especially you're 80 years old and you're in QAnon. There's nothing we can do for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. My thing is like with people and their views, you know what I mean? I don't try to tell anybody how to do their shit anymore. I used to. You know what I mean? I used to get real because I cared a lot because I was a very passionate guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like with your parents, like it's got to be tough. Like, and like, how have you made progress with them on? I feel like you have to, right?
I mean, especially with my mom.
Yeah.
I just explain it. You gotta like explain it. I'm coming from a place where I care so
much. And we're the same in that boat. And that's why it's like, because I have had conversations with my parents where I have helped them progress.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, show them to think of it in a way that they haven't. And obviously, my parents respect, you know, acknowledge that my education level on these things and respect that so that, you know, they don't think I'm just blowing smoke up their ass. But I don't think that was the right phrase for that. But just bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like I have like data and research to back it up and everything
Oh,
to
that's
show
my
them. And
thing.
so, yeah, so it's like, but it's, obviously it's very difficult to change people's minds, especially if, my parents were like moderate Democrats and now I have them fully converted to like leftists.
Oh, see, I'm starting further to the right. I have more work to do.
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's draining.
It is.
It is extremely draining to be like, so it's easier to just like be like, whatever, they just are how they are and that's it. But when we go back to the question of how do we build a more empathetic society, it's like, okay, we have to keep having these conversations.
I know.
Like, but
you have to include
do it,
them.
Right. But you kind of have to do it. It's so hard.
It
is. And basically how I want to end this is like, how do you find peace in, because I think that's the approach is everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't come at them like, you can't lash at people when they say something offensive because that's just going to make them want to do it more because then, they get into like fight or flight. And
it's defense.
Yep. So it's like, so you have to be like gentle about it, but it's like, I don't know. When you have conversations with your parents, are there different ways that you've had like success with getting them to think about things differently?
Sometimes I do. For the most part, I talk to my mom on the phone a lot. And so I really just say things conversationally.
Yeah.
Like, I say, oh, well, I actually read this paper. It was really interesting. Like, do you want to hear about it? Like, some of this might change your mind or that kind of stuff.
Right.
And she can straight up say no. And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah. So it's tough when people are just like, they don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My mom is very open-minded.
Yeah.
I don't try to work on my dad anymore. I think my dad's a lost cause, but that's okay.
You did though.
I did.
Yeah.
I tried.
Never had any success.
My dad is super stubborn.
Yeah. I get
My mom's also really stubborn, but my mom is super open-minded.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she went through so many things throughout her life, I think, that have influenced her perspective. Like, my oldest brother is gay and was bullied a lot. Obviously.
I didn't know that.
Yes. He's my half-brother. He's the sweetest little baby.
So was he so he was bullied a lot? Was that in school? Like,
yes.
So was
he
he homeschooled as well or no?
No, my mom really wanted to be able to homeschool him, but at the time my parents were broke. So Mike had to go to school.
Yeah.
And he went to Lewiston Porter.
Yep. Small school.
Terrible school.
Yeah.
At the time.
And like in the middle of nowhere, kind of. Like you're
super.
up in like the beyond the wall, as Rory calls it. You're up pretty...
I'm further north.
Yeah.
Like my home is further north from Lewiston.
Yeah.
But it was during the AIDS pandemic, or the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
And like gay people were bullied and ridiculed, and he also like social norms are not his strong suit. So he came out in middle school to this group of kids who were like feeding him to the vultures. He fed himself to the vultures.
He didn't read the room.
He didn't read the room. He never does.
Yeah.
But I love that about him. I really do.
Yeah. It's kind of pure.
So pure. Oh my God.
It's like, yeah, to think that, well, why would they make fun of me? You know, to kind of have that mindset. It's just like,
I'm honest with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just want to tell these people who I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, because that's how it should be.
It should be that, right? The world should be full of Mike. But it's not, unfortunately.
You're very close to your brother?
I love him.
Well, yeah, I love him all.
We're not super close. He is 14 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
I think. Yeah, so he like lives in his own place and like has his own life and job and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't see him a lot, but when I do see him, we stick together, me and Mike, because for the longest time my family gave him a hard time, especially my grandma. Gave him a hard time about being gay. Like, you need to be celibate because having gay sex is a sin, right?
I can't even imagine.
Yes. So he had a horrible time at school, and then like as far as my family goes, not super supportive.
You're not accepted at school. You're not accepted at home.
Yeah. So, and he's just the most wholesome child, and it hurts
clearly.
my heart.
I could tell. I've never met him. I didn't know your brother was gay, and like you just like off this story alone, I'm like this. I want to find this man and give him a hug because he seems like.
But as soon as I came out, I think I was like 16, and I was so sheltered.
And you are bi?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't want to assume, but
totally
I'm just
fine.
making
You
sure.
got
I was
it
correct.
right.
Yeah. Party. Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know what bisexual, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I told my mom, I was like, oh, there's this girl that I like I would usually like a boy, and I'm super confused. And my mom was like, yeah, it's natural to like, admire women.
And then just left it at that.
And then just left it at that. I was like, okay, but like, I think I like her.
Right. No. Like mom, like.
I got,
Yeah.
So my mom was like, not cool with it, not about it.
Wow.
And then I didn't know Mike was gay because it was always kept like hush hush in my family.
Wow.
And so I was like putting the pieces together. I was like, Mike's gay. And
Wait a minute.
Wait a tick.
Yeah.
And so I like told him, I was like, hey, I too am part of the LGBTQ community, my friend. And so then at every family gathering, I was just like, gay pride, gay pride, gay pride. just
hammer it home.
Yeah, I was just telling my entire family, defending him.
Of course, because this is who we are.
Yes.
And you are our family.
Yes. And so it was easy for me being bisexual. I just wouldn't tell my parents when I was dating a girl.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So that was easy enough for me.
There's a privilege to that.
There was a privilege to bisexuality.
That's interesting.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I've never even considered that.
Yeah. So I just wouldn't tell my family when I dated a girl.
Wow.
And just went about my business. And then whenever I was dating a guy, I was like, look.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Look, family, here's your norm.
Yes. Here's your heteronormativity.
Yeah. Heteronormativity. Okay.
But that was kind of nice about the whole pandemic. Like sitting home, you get to like think about everything.
Yeah. Does your brother keep in touch like with your parents? Like, do they have a good relationship, or is it still?
Oh yeah, he talks to my mom all the time.
Okay.
He's my half brother, so
different dads.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a great relationship with my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think out of all of my siblings,
how many siblings do you have?
I have 3 brothers.
Okay.
So I think I keep in touch with Mike more than my other 2 brothers do.
Are you the youngest?
No, I have a baby brother.
Oh, okay.
He's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. He's at RIT
your dad's
for
very
computer
smart,
science.
right?
Yeah, my dad's pretty smart. Yeah, RIT for computer science. I brag about him all the time.
Yeah, good. I love that.
He's great.
Yeah. I got smart brothers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about one of your brothers who is like a lawyer.
Dave. Yeah. Dave's a real smart guy.
You have so many brothers.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
And
it's hard to keep up.
I can't like.
Oh, I was talking to Danny last night about how I want to do a different episode with each of my brothers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting.
Be really interesting. Yeah. So it's funny. We really are all different.
Oh, for sure.
But at the same time, there's something that all of us have that is just like,
genetics.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. There's something about all of us that exists within our personality that's like the exact same. You know
that's so cool.
It's an interesting dynamic for sure, and we're all extremely close and
that's amazing.
See each other a lot, and yeah.
And it's so cool that like a lot of you stayed here with your parents for like a long time, or like you've come back and stayed with your parents. That's so cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my parents rule. I wouldn't be here. I mean, dude, I'm converted this room into a podcast studio.
Yeah, and they were just like,
home.
okay.
And yeah, and they were just like, let's support your dream. It was really hard.
I love
do you know, there's a comedian named Kyle Kinane who has a very funny joke about how he wanted to be in a punk band, like growing up, but like his parents were so supportive that it like defeated the purpose of playing punk music. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and that's what's so relatable for me, because it's like, I'm trying to be like this rebel, like, you know, like, playing punk music. I mean, when I was a kid, you know, when I was like when I was like 13, you know, and I'm like playing in my first band and I want to, you know, be punk and like, and then my mom's just like,
good job, sweetie.
Yeah, you guys practice in the basement. I'll make cookies, you know? Yeah. That was part of the Kyle Kinane joke. I can't take credit for that, but that's really how it was.
That's exactly what your mom is like too.
Yeah. She makes cookies all the time. She loves cookies. We got some downstairs. You want some?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. We're going to get some cookies. We're also going to have some drinks, and we're going to build a fire.
I love burning
It's
things.
beautiful out. Yeah, for sure.
Psyched.
I know it's not great for the environment, but
that's the environment.
Yeah, I forgive myself for a lot of environmental stuff because it's like, you know what? It's the guys running all these companies that got to do something. They're the ones ruining it. I'm, you know,
sucking water.
I'm trying my
ponds,
best when I can, man. And that's
the rainforest.
We can't be perfect people.
I'm not doing that. I'm not in the rainforest.
Right, exactly.
That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I use a reusable water bottle.
Got it right
that was
here.
So aggressive.
I know. I'm the only one in my family that uses a reusable water bottle.
Are you joking?
It's insane, dude. We got that. We have a dope fridge.
Yes,
with the thing on the front to fill it. And my dad just buys bottled water and just drinks
it. No way.
And I'm like, and he thinks it's all right because he's like, well, I refill the plastic water bottle. And I'm like, just get this and just fill it up. with our fridge.
That blows my mind.
You know, I can get them to, it's easier to get my parents to be like progressive, pro Black Lives Matter, pro LGBTQ. Like, I can get them that far, but using a reusable water bottle.
That's where they draw the line.
Yeah. All right. We probably talked for 40 minutes again. But Julie, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks
You're an
for
amazing
having
guest.
me. This was so fun.
We talked about a lot, and you are a very passionate person. You're a very empathetic person,
As
and
are
that's
you.
what we're trying to do in the world here. That's what I'm trying to do with the show.
Yes.
Is just spread some. And I know we talk about some doom and gloom stuff, but we're trying to overall spread a positive message.
Yeah.
Make a more empathetic society. And we're trying to care. We're trying to help people, right?
Trying to care. There's doom and gloom, but there's also hope.
Yes. And we got to focus on the hope.
Yes, absolutely.
Recognize the doom and gloom. Recognize that it's happening.
Recognize it.
Yes.
Be aware of it because it's important
and
to be aware.
And then have hope that we can get through it.
Yes. And then bank on Gen Z to save us all.
Shout out Gen Z.
Shout out Gen Z.
All right. We'll see you later.